Yes, now it is working. Okay, now it is working. So is it shared, the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So in the meantime, I can see that many of you have joined. Anyway, so have you checked this thing? I mean, this document?
Yes, sir.
So can you mention that which portion I have not yet touched? I'm just quickly scrolling down. So I think these are the very basic things about Python introductory section. I have discussed about the importance and applications of Python. So what are the features available? And I mentioned about the portability of this thing. And I think I have not mentioned it is interpreted language. It is not a compiler based language. So those who have idea about some programming knowledge, so you may have heard about this interpreter or compiler kind of thing. So this is also I'm explaining that thing. So you need to remember that this is a high level language. So many language, there are two types of language basically, low level language and high level language. So Python is a high level language. Okay. So applications who are using this programming language nowadays, and here the interpreter and compiler difference is also given. So in many programming language, you will find that, say for example, you are writing a code in C. So what it will do, it will ask you to compile that thing first. There is a button known as compile, and then you run the code. Okay, but in case of interpreter based language, no need to do that thing. Here the code will run and on the fly, and at a time one line will be read out, and then the result will be given. So it is easy to use actually. No need to compile the program again. You can run it on the fly.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in case of R programming, the R Studio ID, it shows that there is a compiler and
Yes.
like that. So,
Yes.
but sir, R programming itself can read single lines, right? You don't need to write entire code. Like if you want to analyze the data and visualize the result, you don't need to write the entire code. You can just write one at a time. First the analysis part and then the visualization. Then why it's called compiler, sir?
No, see that then if you are writing a whole code, means a long code, 100 line of code, right? And then you are trying to run. In case of Python, what will happen? It will stop at the line where the error is found, right? Because it will run line by line, and then it will stop at the error line, and it will show you the error. If you modify it again and rerun, so it will run again, and then the error will be, if there is no error, so output will be given at the end of the run. But in case of R, I'm not so sure that whether you can run it like this. So it may be possible. It may happen in case of compiler-based language. Suppose you want to run the code, okay, and you click on the compile. So it will go through all the code, and then it will show you the error. Okay, it will read all the code first, and then it will show you the result. That is the difference.
I see, sir. Understood.
Okay. Now there are two types of interpreter. Python interpreter. So interactive mode and script mode. Basically, I have discussed all these modes because you have seen that how we can interact in the cells itself, right? And another is script mode. That means when you are saving that code by .py extension. Are you getting my point? So there is a cell, if you can remember, where we are just giving some input like 1 plus 2, and it is all across the prompt line, right? So these 3 greater than symbol. So when we are using in that mode, that is known as interactive mode, you can see that result, you can see that output at that cell itself. But that is the difficulty, is that you cannot save that thing. So to save the code, you should use the script mode. Okay. So yes, it is written over here also. And now you should know that this triple quote is no triple. Got it. Okay, so this line is known as this symbol is known as chevron. That prompt line, which starts with 3 greater than symbol in Python cell, so that symbol is known as chevron. Okay, and you have seen that this kind of cell is open, and then you write something, you type the command, and you are getting the output also. But the problem is you cannot save this thing, right? So for that, you need to use the script mode, and the extension of that file will be .py. I have shown you. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a second.
But sir,
yes.
Hello.
Yes, yes.
But sir, actually, from Anaconda, whenever we were using Jupyter Lab,
Yes. So
sorry,
there is
Jupyter
no such
Notebook, Jupyter Notebook.
Symbol, right?
No, sir. Whenever we were saving that, it was saving as a .pyn.
IPYNB in
Yes,
this
sir.
format. Yes,
Yes, sir.
because I told you that in that case, that file will be saved as a Python notebook, because you are using Jupyter Notebook. So extension is IPYNB, that is notebook, Python notebook. Okay. And when you are using, and there is an option also, you can export that Python code, whatever you are writing in Jupyter Notebook, that can be saved in .py format as well. Is it clear? So there is an option. Sir. There is an option to export that file, whatever you are writing in that code, in that file. So you can export that file itself by a .py file also, so that there will be no problem for Jupyter Notebook dependency. If you are taking that code and you are trying to use in any other machine, so it will run, no problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Just a second. Wait for a minute. Just a second. Okay. So next, yes. So this is the difference in interactive mode and script mode. Then I have also discussed about the IDE, that is Integrated Development Environment. One of such example is IDLE. I have shown you how to run this IDLE also. And yeah, so one thing I have not mentioned yet, because that is not required for the time being, that is the indentation. That is very much important. Those who are writing code in some Python IDE, so you may have seen that the indentation is very much important. We will discuss it in detail when we will run this code. We will write some code, but for the time being, we have not used the indentation part, right? We'll see during the runtime of many programs that why the indentation are important. Indentation means what? You can see this page format, and now you can see that there is a space before every line. Can you see this? This space?
Sir.
So that is the indentation. Now, if I am going to this line, so here indentation is break. You can see that indentation was along this column, along this line, but here it is started after some space. So in Python also, when you will write some program, you need to maintain the indentation. So why? We will discuss. Okay. Then value data type we have discussed. 4 data type, basically number, sequence, set, and dictionary. And again, number may be different types, sequences may be of different types. Okay, so for the time being, you don't need to understand all the details of this thing, because this is very much important for calculation purpose, long or different complex integer numbers, complex numbers. So for the time being, you just remember that there are different types of values can be possible, and how we can write the integer or float, because you can remember that I showed you some example. We are mentioning that float some value, so that means that float will be highlighted there. The float value will be printed. Sometimes we need that thing, so that much you should remember now. But what are these? For the timing, you can skip these things. Next is sequence. We have discussed about sequence, that is an ordered collection of items that may be of different types, string, list, and tuple. We have discussed some part about strings, but today I will try to complete that string, and then I can start the list as soon as possible. Why I am doing so? Because I can write some code, but to solve the biological problems, to sequence analysis or any other. But the problem is you should know the syntax, otherwise you can't get what is going on inside that long code. So these are the ABCD of Python. So you should know about this, then you can write your code by your own. So we have started this string. We can use single quote, double quote, or triple quote as well. Then we have seen what we mean by indexing. That can be from positive indexing, or that can be from negative indexing. That means from the backside. Okay, how we can get one value at a single position by using this third bracket and write the index position there. We have discussed. Okay. So different operations can be done on string. So some of these examples given here: indexing, slicing, concatenation, repetition, membership. So I think I have discussed these things: indexing, slicing, and concatenation, repetition also. But I have not done the membership operator, right? So this is very easy to perform, to check that whether some element is present in a particular string. Okay, suppose you have a sequence. Now you want to search something inside a sequence. Say, for example, you have a protein sequence and you want to identify whether that AUGC, this sequence, that is a not protein sequence, that is maybe a RNA sequence, because if I am talking about you. Anyway, any sequence. So you are trying to identify whether AUG is there in a RNA sequence. So you can write a long code for doing that, but you can simply use this syntax, that is in. Okay, in or not in. Suppose you are writing your string using the double quote and you are storing that in a variable, then you are writing that AUG in S. If you are in your computer, you can type this in your IDE, whether you are using Anaconda or PyCharm or IDL, whatever, even. So simply, if you write that thing, so you will get that the result is coming as true. Okay, if it is present. Say, for example, here, good morning, this sequence is taken and it is searching M in that particular string. So obviously, it will reach out to this position and it will find that M is there. So it will give the output as true. This is a keyword which is used by Python. So it is true. And again, if something is not there and if you are trying to get that thing directly, so you can do it in that way also. So the next example, it is saying that A, the small letter A, not in the string S. So not in is the syntax. And you can check that there is no A available in this particular string. So it will give you true again. Right? So you can tell me, if I place D instead of A in this syntax, D not in S, so what it will return? You can guess that, right?
So it will give true.
No, D not in S.
So false.
False.
False. Yes, because D is there, so not in, that means false, right? Okay, fine. So then the list I have not started yet. Tuple I have not started. Okay. Mapping, that is dictionary, I have not started. Yeah, variable I have started. What is variable, why this is used, and how we can name the variable, that is most important part. Assignment, how we can assign some value to the variable, right? And you see, the beauty of this kind of programming is that assigning a single value to several variables simultaneously. Suppose you want to write the thing A equal to 100, B equal to 100, C equal to 100. So you can, instead of that thing, you can write A equal to B equal to C equal to 100. Only one line, you can do that, right? And you can assign multiple values to multiple variables as well. For example, A, B, C, if you write after that equal symbol and then you write 2, 4, any string, Ram or Sam or anything. So you can understand that these three variables will have the values in this order. Okay, so A will have 2, B will have 4, and C will have Ram. This is very intelligent programming. It is even if you are not instructing it, but there are certain things already there in the Python program itself that it will understand that what you are meaning. If you are writing in this way, so it will by default take these values one after another. Is it clear what I am trying to say?
Yes, sir.
All right. But then these keywords are also very much important, because see, sometimes these keywords, some special words are used in Python program itself. So it is better not to use the variable name or anywhere in the code to use this important keyword or special words. Otherwise, it will be clashing with the Python program already there. Python some program already there inside the Python program itself. So it will be clashing with these keywords, and you will get some error message. So better you need not use these special words. And keywords are case sensitive also, because you see that true or false, whatever output it was giving in this case. So every time you will find that those are in capital letter. Yes, this one, because this is a keyword which is giving as output by this program, and the keyword is written in the Python code itself, and which defines that first letter will be capital letter. Similarly for false or any other words which are there in this keyword list. So you should remember that these are case sensitive also. You can see that these three letters are started with capital letter. Okay. So identifiers are name given to the entities like class, function, variables, etc. So the names are basically variable names are basically known as identifier. So these are the rules how you can write the variable names. Okay. So these are the variable valid declaration, and these are not valid. I have discussed this, how far I can remember. Right. So, okay. So there is another thing: statements and expressions. Statements and expression is only a theoretical purpose. It's basically almost similar, because whenever we are instructing something for doing some work in a Python interpreter, so that part will be known as statement. Say for example, print something. So we are instructing something, and that is known as statement. Okay. On the other hand, if we are just giving a value, 42, we are nothing instructing there. We are not giving any instruction. If we are just simply put 42 in the interpreter or in the cell, so then that will be treated as an expression. That is very basic difference, not a serious issue. Statements and expression, what is the difference? But sometimes these are almost equally, we treat them equally, statements and expression. Yeah, that is very much important, input and output. I have given one lab work. Hopefully all of you have done this, right? Already. Is there any problem to solve that particular lab work? Anyone? Have you done this lab work? How many questions are there? 10 or so? If you are facing any kind of problem, you can ask me, you can discuss with me.
Sir, I was unable to do the area of the circle because the pi value, how to input that, I couldn't understand, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Me too, sir.
Yes. Right. So, what you can do, you can directly use the pi value. Okay. What is the value of pi? You can directly use that decimal point value, floating point value to do that calculate the area of that circle. And another thing is that you can use some math module. I will show you in the next class or so how to use some modules by which you can do some kind of mathematical calculation very easy. Okay. So, okay, I will show you. Good. And any other problem you face?
স্যার আরেকটা প্রবলেম ছিল না, যেখানে একদম শেষের দিকে ছিল যে একটা আউটপুট দিতে হবে যেখানে n প্লাস nn প্লাস nnn,
Yes, yes.
ওই প্রবলেমটা স্যার করতে পারছিলাম না।
Okay, and that is something tricky. Not a big deal with that. NN means 5 plus 55 plus 555, something like that. You are saying that, right?
Yes sir, and the output was expected to be 615.
Yes. So 5 plus 55 plus 555. So what will be the output?
Yeah, probably 615.
Yes. So you need to do the code. You need to write that code accordingly. Okay. We'll discuss.
Okay sir.
Okay. So next, yeah. So input and output. So you have seen, we have already used that thing, that how we can give some input from the keyboard itself. So that is very easy to use. That is, input is a syntax, and if you write in this way, that input something, so it will show you in the prompt that it will create a space where you need to give the keyboard input, and then you press enter, and that value will be stored in this variable, right? So suppose if you write x equal to input, enter your name, if you click enter, after that line it will show that enter the name, and then that will blink, your cursor will be blinking. So you need to give some input there, right? If you enter your name from the keyboard, then press enter, and then you print again, print x, so it will print your name. So that is the logic. Okay, so you can take any kind of thing as an input. If you are taking string, so obviously you don't need to specify something, so you just use input. But sometimes it is better practice that if you are trying to get input for a number, so then you should mention what type of number you are taking as input, right? You can see that here it is saying that input, enter the number, and you are mentioning that the number type will be integer. So you are writing int at the beginning of this statement, right? So if you are trying to get one float value, so it will clash and it will give you some error. So if you are taking float value as an input, so you write float instead of int. So that is the test case use of this kind of syntax, int or float, for taking the input integer or float number. Okay. And in later also we'll see that how we can convert the data type. Okay, we can convert this string to integer or integers to string. That is also possible. We will see during the runtime. Okay, and we have discussed about the comments, because sometimes we need to comment something which the code will not read at all, right? Docstring is another thing which is usually written in the function, and when this part will be covered when we'll write some function. We'll start writing the function part, so then we'll discuss this thing. See, this is the structure of a function. Okay, lines and indentation. Yeah, so indentation we will discuss during the writing some code. Okay, quotation, single, double, triple quote, tuple I have not started yet. Okay, operators. So you should use some basic operators in your calculator. So one thing you can do, you build a calculator. Okay, at your home, you try to build a calculator where you will enter some value, for example x and y, and then it will do some calculation say for example, it will add that two value, it will subtract or it will divide something, it will multiply the two value, and it will give you the output. Okay, so this kind of operation you can understand how it is going on using the input value technique. So that is your home task. You can do it. Is it clear what I am saying?
No, sir. Please, can you repeat this?
I am saying that at your home, you try to build a calculator. So where when you run the code, it will ask for values. So first value. Then if you are entering that first value, it will ask you this for second value. Okay. You input the second value from the keyboard, and then it will calculate something. Something means addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. You do this 4 operation only, right? Based on these two value you have entered. Now it will give you the output, and then you print that total is this, or subtraction value is this, multiplication value is this, and division value is this. Okay? Is it clear? Okay, fine. All right, so these are arithmetic operation. Yes, so I am talking about these 4 operation. So basically you need to calculate this thing. Okay. Yes. So output be like this. Okay. Now it is clear what you need to do.
Sir,
Yes.
sir,
Yes. Yes. I can hear you.
is operator means equal to
What? What you were saying?
operator.
Operator. Yes. Yes.
Is it the
Yes.
same thing as equal to?
I'm not getting you. What are you saying? Operator?
Please, sir, re-explain operator,
Yes, I have already explained operator.
but
How to
I'm not
use-
clear with it, sir.
Okay, so you can follow the recording. There is I have explained that how we can use this operator. Okay, because these are very basic mathematics actually. This is very basic mathematics. Okay, I am sharing it again. Just let me finish this thing and I'll show you how to use this operator. Okay, so there are more operator like comparison operator. So whether the two values are equal or whether they are not equal, whether they are greater than something or less than something, you want to check. So all these test case you can perform. Okay, I'm showing this thing. Good. If you are facing some problem, tell me. I'll show you. So there are logical operators. Okay. Yeah, membership operator I have just discussed. Same is identity operator. Is not that are preceding. So that is based on PEMDAS rule. Very basic mathematics. Which operation will go first, and then after that, which operation will perform. So that is the rule. Okay, nothing else. Okay, now okay. So my full screen is shared right now. Okay, so as someone said that what is starting over here. So for example, you are taking two values, right? So if I am saying that add 5 plus 10, okay, or in this example we are just following here 10 and 5. So what you will do? Who asked me right now? Can you respond again? I can't pronounce your name. What's her name? Just L, started with L.
So Latifa.
Latifa. Yes, Latifa. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now if I am saying that you take two values and 10 and 5, you stored in the variable A and B. So then what you will do? You will write A equal to 10, right? And B equal to 5, isn't it? This much is clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I am saying that add these two values, so you can directly write this thing, no problem, 10 plus 5. But in programming language, you don't want to do it in direct way. That's why you are storing this into a variable, and then you are adding those variable which are already containing those values. Okay, so that is the logic. And now this will work, but you need to store this. Good practice is you need to store this in another variable. Clear? Latifat, or what her name I forgot again.
Yes, sir, it's Latifa.
Latifa. Yes. So, so this much is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, if you want to subtract B from A, so you can use another variable, or here in Python you can use the same variable, no problem. But better to use another variable. Say for example, I am writing this A minus B, and then I am writing another variable, taking another variable and multiply A with B, and then taking another variable which will store the division value A divided by B. All right. Now, if you print C, D, E, F, suppose you are writing print C. So, what it will print? Can you tell me, Latifa? Latifa, unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Yes. So, what it will print? If I write C over here, the print command.
I will
Simple,
print.
sorry, simple mathematics. Print C. So, what it will print? What will I get at in the output?
10 plus 5
So that is
is equal to 15, sir.
right. So here it is. Got it? So similarly, if I print F, so what do you think? What it will print?
F, I will
Sorry?
print A divided by 5.
Yes. So what the output will be?
This will be 2.
Right. It's 2. Okay. As you are dividing something, so by default it is taking the float value. Right. Anyway, so you can write, write print A, print B, print E, print F, right? And you will get all these values. Now, my point is, at your home, you try to modify this code, this very basic code, where you will not hard code this program. That means here A value and B value is fixed for 10 and 5. Now, if I am saying that, okay, so you are 100 odd number of students there, and you may use this value as your own. So for all, you can try to enter different values. In that case, you cannot hard code these things, right? So then you can use the input function and you can take the value from the user itself. So that is my point. So you write a code so that you can enter the value as per your choice, not 10 or 5. And then the same operation will be done and you print the result. So that's all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now it is clear, I think. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you can follow these different operators which are also given here. Yeah. So for example, comparison operator. Now you can write this thing. If you are trying to check A greater than or less than B. If you are simply typing this, now check, it is saying that it is false, right? Because A is not less than B, because 10 is greater than B. Similarly, you can check A greater than B. So it is showing that it is true, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the comparison operator. Now, if I am writing whether A equal to B and run again. So what do you think? Whether it will give true or false?
False.
False.
Right. So that is the logic. You can check by that way if you are comparing something. So remember that this is not equal symbol. Sometimes, many times, the beginners mistakes this thing, that they are just typing this and saying that where is the error, where is the error. Okay. No output will be given if you are writing equal to B. Okay. So try to remember that.
Sir,
Yes.
it's used as the algebra problem. You
Yes.
can solve with these operators
Yes.
as the problem, like a square plus b square.
Yes. You can do that. You can write a square. So that means this will be represented by a square and then b square, right? Sorry, b square you are saying, no? So you can write 2 or you can
There was meaning.
yes, many things. So you can do it by this way. Or you can use power syntax. Okay. So you are getting that value. You can store it in another variable, that is v. And now you can type print v. Yeah. So you are getting the same value. Let's see. Okay, you can do the arithmetic calculation. Okay. So yes, so I have just used this exponent operations. So that is double star b square. If you write 3 or 4, so you can answer it what it will be in the result. If it is 2, now you can understand what the value will be for v. Who will answer it? Is there any option for raising hands or so? So that I can
So it
see.
will be 8.
Yes, it will be 8. Good. So I think this part is clear now. So I can move on. but we'll have some time. It's only 5
Sir,
minutes. Yes.
how to convert the input data into different types of variable? I mean, it is always taking the input as string. So how
Yes.
will we converting that to integer or something else? Integer or float?
Yes. So then, in that case, you need to mention that thing. Let me just run this. So you are asking that if you are using a variable and you want to take input, what you are trying to say?
Yes, sir. I mean, I was trying that thing, but it is always
Enter.
taking it in the data as string.
Yes, enter a number, suppose. Okay. Now, if you run this, it will show for a number, and if you do it, the number is fixed. Now, if you can print, if you are printing A, you can see that 2 is there. It's taking the input, no problem. And you can check the type also. It is string, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So that kind of problem you are facing, right? So if you are
Yes,
entering a
sir.
number, then also it is taking as a string, right?
String, yes, sir.
Yes. So in that case, what you can do is just mention that you want to take the input as integer. Now you cross check, you do the same thing, you print
Okay, sir.
this, and now you type this, so it is int. So it is known as typecasting. So you can change, you can convert this string type to integer or integer to string type again. So that is known as string casting, typecasting. All right.
Sir, can you repeat this portion?
Okay. So see, he was trying to input on value. So obviously, in that case, you can enter 222 or any number, no problem. Okay. Now, if you are running this code, so A now contain 2234. But do you know whether this is a string or this is a value, that is an integer? You don't know. So to check that, you can use this type keyword, type function, right? So if you use type of A, you want to know that what is the type of A. So you write this, and if you run it, you will get that this is a string. By default, whatever you are taking as input, that is stored in a string type of variable. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, what you can do to avoid this kind of situation, you just make another parenthesis and you write int at the beginning. Now you rerun, enter the same value, then print that thing. Print that thing. So it is printing the same number. Now you check the type. Earlier it was string, now it is integer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I don't have much time. So I told you to do this. Can anyone solve this problem or solve this problem in the meantime? What will be within this third bracket to get the desired out? For example, the variable is given hello world. Now print this also given, and within this there is a blank thing, that means this third parenthesis, third bracket. Now what will be printed, or what will be there, okay, within this, to get the value as this output, updated string hello Python. So this will be your output. So to get this full sentence, what you need to enter at this blank space. So that is the question given. What do you do?
Sir, we can use modulo.
So
No, no.
0:4.
Okay, 0:4. Let's try. So that is given HELL colon 6. Okay,
Colon 6. Sorry.
okay, yeah, good. But in that case, you need to count manually that how many words are there after this thing, right? You need to manually check that. But you can manually check also that the string is as it is. So updated string, then hello. So if I means total 5 elements are there, and you need to manually calculate, and then only you can write 6. But if you write this, what will happen? In that case, it will print all. Hello world, all the sentence it will print, and now you need to check, cross check what value will be there, and you are perfectly saying that it will be 6. So now you can understand that the output is same. Okay, so it is a colon operator, basically slicing operator, the application of slicing operator. Okay, all right, so time up.